And if you had given me anything, I would have tried it. In fact, we've tried a lot of things, haven't we, Mom?
Yep.
Yeah, we've tried a lot. Hey guys, it's me, Molly here again, the blind one, back for another video. And today, as you can see from the title, I want to talk about a very buzzed about topic around my channel, and that is, do I want to see again? Do I want to cure? Do I want to get my sight back? All of that kind of jazz. I've recently had a really big growth on my channel, which thank you so much. I really appreciate having you all a part of the family here. But that's kind of made this question come to the surface a lot more again. I did make a video about this topic in the past, maybe by the same title, maybe not. I don't know what I'm calling this yet. But it was essentially talking about the same topic. And I've since made that video private recently and wanted to just remake this video and just do an updated version that's maybe more current. I don't know. I just wanted to redo it, okay? So that's what I'm doing here today. For those of you who just, don't want to sit through the next however long listening to me ramble about why I feel the way I do, I'll just give you the quick answer so you can just click out of the video and move on to the next one. The short answer is no, I don't really want to cure. I don't want to see again, and I'm perfectly content, happy, and fine the way I am. And now for those of you who are shocked by that statement and want to know how that could possibly be that somebody can have a disability and be happy and not want to be cured or changed, I want to give you kind of why I feel this way, the explanation, and talk a bit more about my journey with vision loss and acceptance of that vision loss. Recently, I've been getting a lot of people reaching out because of my channel growth through Instagram, Facebook, emails, on the comments on YouTube, suggesting different pills that I can take, diets I can go on, different cures or methods that they think might help me get my vision back. And I first off want to say thank you so much for all of those people reaching out, because I know that you are doing so out of the goodness of your heart and because you want to do something that you believe will help me and that you believe will make me happier and that you believe will make my life better. And I appreciate that you have taken the time to research this or think about it and reach out and let me know, because I know it's coming from a good place. So I do appreciate you, and this is my response to all of you so that I don't have to individually go and reach out to each and every single one of you, just because it has been happening a lot. And that's really what's sparked me to want to remake an updated version of this. For those who don't know much about my journey, I lost most of my sight when I was 14 years old due to an eye disease that I was born with and diagnosed with at the age of 4 called retinitis pigmentosa. The specific type of RP that I have is called TULIP1, which basically just refers to the gene that is affected in my eyes. So my type of RP caused a more rapid and aggressive vision loss than some other forms, but the vision loss kind of pattern for people with RP is all over the map. There's really no standard textbook case. There's things like night blindness is pretty much solid across the board for all of us. Caving in, tunnel vision is pretty much across the board, but other than that, we all have different experiences of what we can and can't see and the vision loss journey. And when I lost most of my vision, I was devastated because from the age of 5, I could say the words retinitis pigmentosa, and I could tell you it was a disease I was born with. I could tell you I was going to go blind one day, and I would go around speaking on behalf of organizations that worked with the blind and that fundraised for cures, and I would kind of fundraise and spread this message and talk about my story and fight for a cure. And I never really knew why, because I wasn't blind yet. Like, I was visually impaired, yes, I was legally blind, but I wasn't blind. I wasn't facing the reality of what this disease and these words actually meant. And when I was 14 years old and forced to face that, I just fell into such a deep depression. I started being bullied by my peers because of the vision loss. I started feeling like all of those years of work looking for this cure had done nothing. There was no cure for me. My life was just getting worse. Everything I thought I knew about my life was gone and changing. This girl I thought I was and this life I thought I was going to have just vanished. And I really had to go through a process of grieving the loss of that person and finding a new girl inside of me. And the age of 14 is such a vulnerable time for all of us because we're going through puberty, our hormones are changing, we're figuring ourselves out, we're coming into our own style and personality, and we're really forming as people. And who I was forming into had to very suddenly change. And that was really difficult for me to deal with. And all of these years of working towards finding a cure and fundraising for a cure made me feel like that was the only option for me to feel okay again, was to have a cure. And so that was the journey I kept looking to, was all about this cure. When I get cured, my life will be better. When I get cured, my problems will go away. But the reality is, there's no cure that's ever going to take away problems in my life. If I got my sight back, I would just have different problems. They wouldn't be the problems that I live with every day now, but I would still have problems. And I've learned along my journey of acceptance that when you can't change something in your life, the way I can't change that I'm blind, the only option is to accept it in order to move on. And I truly believe that acceptance is the best cure. And so as much as I appreciate when people reach out with cures and things that they think might help me, which, side note, there isn't really any solid cures that are available right now. There's lots of research being done, and I will link to some websites if you're interested in retinal diseases and research that's being done in cures. I will link to all of that down below. Unfortunately, there's no diet I can go on. There's no pill I can take. I have a part of my eye, a part of my organ that is deteriorated and that is diseased and that is very sick and really not there anymore. And so, they're doing lots of things like stem cell research, robotic retina replacements, all of that kind of stuff. And they are really making advancements that, were unheard of at the time of my diagnosis. But those things, they are not giving people full sight back. They're not giving people the sight that you know. They are giving people a version of sight that they then have to go through a lot of rehabilitation and training to adjust to and adapt to. And I know that if I ever did get sight back in any form, it would take as much adjusting and adapting to as going blind did. And I know that's kind of strange to think about, but I've been blind for 9 years. And so for me, adjusting back to having sight would be a very lengthy process, and I think a very emotional one as well. So like I was saying, as much as I do appreciate when people reach out with ideas and things I should try, for me, back when I was younger, that's all I wanted. And if you had given me anything, I would have tried it. In fact, we've tried a lot of things, haven't we, Mom?
Yep.
Yeah, we've tried a lot. And none of it's worked. And that's the reality. And I can't live waiting for a cure. And I can't live waiting to be fixed. And I can't live wanting sight. Because it's not an option for me. And living like that is not living. I need to be positive. I need to embrace this and live my life the way I think God intended me to. And I don't think we all have to have sight. I don't think we all have to walk. I don't think we all need left arms. I think these things are great for some people, but we don't all need them. And it's okay to accept that. It's okay for you to accept that I'm blind. And I think it's important for you to be okay with my blindness as my viewer and as a part of my community, as much as I, my friends, and my family in real life are accepting of my blindness and know that it's not going to change. And this isn't me giving up on a cure. This is me embracing the life I have, this beautiful gift that's been given to me. And I think society often views disability as an inherent negative in somebody's life. And for me and my family, I think for a long time we felt that way too. But we don't anymore. And I'm so happy to say that. For a long time, I felt so broken with my vision loss. And I don't feel broken at all anymore. I feel so whole and I feel so happy. And so I don't feel like I need to be fixed. And I don't think that if you're in this situation and you want a cure, that you do feel broken and that you do feel like you need to be fixed. I can't speak for you or how you feel. I'm simply speaking for me and my own feelings. That's how I felt when I needed a cure. I felt like I needed to be fixed in order to live a good life. And I don't feel that way anymore. I feel like I'm living a successful, happy, positive, healthy life. I'm living my best self. And that's all we can all hope for in life. That's all any of us can hope for in life. And I feel blessed that at 23, I feel that way, especially given how much I did go through to get here. And when people reach out, for me, it reminds me that society views disability as a negative, and that society views what I live with as something that needs to be changed or fixed. And it does, in a way, make me feel like people think I'm not good enough the way I am, which is a shame because I feel perfectly good, just the way I am and just as who I am. And so that's really why I wanted to make this video. That's why I feel the way I do. And if you're in a situation where you live with disability or chronic disease and you do want a cure, I do not blame you. I do not look down upon you. You know what's best for you, and you know the journey that you're meant to walk in life. But I know I've come to realize that this is mine, and I'm perfectly happy with it. I don't think that I need to be fixed. I think the rest of the world needs to be fixed, because the reality is, if the world was made accessible to me, blindness would never be considered a disability. Am I disabled? I'm disabled in a sense. I cannot see. My body is disabled in that way. It doesn't have sight. But I don't feel disabled in any other way. Other than the fact that my eyes don't work like yours, I feel just as capable, just as confident, just as independent and happy. And there are still struggles, there are still down times. I can't say there are days I don't get angry or frustrated about it. I definitely have blind days. I tweet a lot about it. I have days where all I want to do is jump on a bike and go for a bike ride on my own. All I want to do is put headphones on and go for a run. But I can't do those things. But neither can my friend who doesn't know how to ride a bike, and he's sighted. And, you know, neither do some people who suck at running or hate running. So, again, I don't think being sighted would take away my problems. I think it would just give me different ones. And I've learned to adapt and adjust and accept my problems. So, no matter what cure might come along in the future, I truly believe that this is the situation I'll keep. And I know that there are some of you that by the end of this video won't believe me and think that it's just something I say, but it's not. Anybody who knows me knows this is real. This is how I feel. This is what I believe. I don't believe there is any cure that will make me happier. I believe the best cure in life is acceptance and embracing the situation you've been put in and finding all of the positives that it brings. So I know this was a rambly, long, somewhat emotional video, but I hope by the end of this you've learned something new about me, maybe, and how to view disability, that I really don't think society should see it as a negative. Just see it as a gift that society has been given to teach us all a whole lot. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.